Hi everyone, I'm Anqi Liu. I'm senior lecturer from School of Mathematics at Cardiff University, and I'm glad to share with you about these exciting projects. This is a collaboration between Cardiff and Amplified Global, and our aim is to investigate the intelligibility of financial documents and whether the AI technology and human-centered design could improve intelligibility of financial documents. And in this project, we focus on credit card agreements. The credit card is one of the financial products that people use the most, but the agreements come with it often leave people feeling anxious, feeling stressed. And we find out that most of these emotional reactions comes down to how the documents are written. So the documents sometimes use ambiguous languages, and many sections rely heavily on numerical concepts. So when the users read such documents, they will find very overwhelmed and sometimes undirected. And such emotional reactions will affect how they use their credit cards and how they avoid fees and penalties, and also how they feel to make good financial decisions. Before go further, I would like to highlight the important distinction between intelligibility and readability. The readability is a simple concept. It's mainly a look at the mechanics of language. So things like are the sentences short, is the vocabulary familiar, and whether the layout is clear. So basically, it goes with whether something is easy to read. But intelligibility goes one step further. It investigates whether the consumer could really understand the contents and act on the information confidently. So we use the mixed research methods in these projects. The Amplify multi-level comprehension framework and the Amplify Q method help us to get the feedbacks of users' experience and emotional responses while they're reading the credit agreements. And we put the feedback to some stats analysis. So our data are collected from real user experience, and the feedback on reading credit card agreements are provided by students from Cardiff University, and that includes some vulnerable users and also those students are not confident with financial documents. We compare three agreements. So agreement A is a standard agreement from a traditional bank, and Amplify provides a simplified version using their AI simplification technique. And agreement B is a fintech credit provider. And we summarize our key insights into 5 categories. The first one is the gaps in the information. We found that many agreements just don't explain the key terms properly, for example, without enough context or without explanations that relate to real-life scenarios. So people won't be able to understand how the concepts could be used in real life, and also some of the terms, similar terms like different kinds of rates and fees appear in different sections are not clearly distinguished. That make the users feel lost when they read the documents. Yes, thank you. The second point is about the language barriers. So it's purely the language used in these documents sometimes tend to be complex and they use abstract wording. This is especially true for the sections about regulatory disclosures and legal terms. Then when people reading these kind of documents, they feel that is too far away from their daily life, and especially when adding on the legal jargons, they will find overwhelmed, and that will definitely affect their user experience and their understanding of the documents. So comprehension gaps. engagement. So many users reported that it's hard to engage in this kind of documents because when they read it, they find there are little information about how this can be applied in real life. And they tend to skip sections or stop reading altogether. And of course, in this way, they will miss important information and important details, and this will affect how they use their credit cards and credit balances. And even when people keep reading these documents, they may sometimes get off track because we found that many users could only recall the very basic concepts, and less than 30% of them are able to apply the information accurately. Thank you. And all of these feed back into their emotional impacts, and so that we think this really affects these kind of stress and anxiety emotions really affect how people use the credit cards. And we find that the simplified version do improve the emotional experiences, but with still the low intelligibility, we think the worries doesn't go away. And to summarize, we think intelligibility is important for user confidence and for meeting the regulatory expectations and for the overall financial well-being. And our aim is to make the intelligibility the industry standard. So next step is to incorporate intelligibility into the industry practice, and so that we will be able to improve the fairness, the inclusion, and the user trust. So thank you.